Car slowing down. The velocity of the car decreases while slowing down from a higher speed to a slower speed. The difference between the variations in the initial and final velocity is negative, and hence the acceleration will be negative. Switching off the grinder. The rotor attached to the shaft of the grinder accelerates the container of the grinder in centripetal motion. When the power is supplied to the grinder, the shaft rotates, and hence the grinder starts accelerating. Upon switching off the grinder, the power is not supplied to the motor and the rotational motion of the grinder deaccelerates. Roller coaster coming to rest. If you have been on a roller coaster ride, you must have noticed the variations in the speed of the roller coaster. The speed of the roller keeps on increasing and decreasing every moment. The speed of the roller slightly decreases while climbing the heights and increases quickly as it accelerates down the slope. Moreover, as the ride stops and the roller is still moving to come to the rest, the speed of the roller keeps on reducing till it comes to a static position. Light traveling from rarer to denser medium. The speed of the light decreases while traveling from rarer to denser medium. The variation in the refractive angle with respect to the change in speed of the wave in the medium. This is because the density of the rarer medium is less contrary to the denser medium. Hence, the velocity of the light waves decreases once it starts traversing through the denser medium. Flowing tunnel meeting the pond water. If you have seen the flow of water from tunnels or gutters when meeting the water bodies like ponds, rivers, or sea, the kinetic energy of the flowing water gets reduced. The mixing of the two waters takes place at this point. The velocity of the flowing water decreases, and hence the acceleration is negative. Object slowing due to friction. The frictional force is a resistive force that acts against the direction of motion of the object and reduces the velocity of the object. If a football is kicked, then it will accelerate and will come to rest after a while. The velocity of the football will get reduced gradually due to the frictional force exerting on the surface of the football and also the air resistance. Kingfisher diving in the river. If you have seen the kingfisher diving in the river water to catch the fish, you must have noticed the variation in the speed of a kingfish. It quickly deeps in and returns back. The velocity seen here is a negative velocity, and hence the acceleration is negative. Applying brakes on bicycle. As a rider applies a brake on the bicycle, the speed of the bicycle reduces. The difference between the current and the initial speed of the bicycle is negative. That means that the acceleration of the bicycle on the application of a brake becomes negative. Ball sliding down from slider. The potential energy of a ball at the top of the slide is higher, which is then converted into kinetic energy as the ball starts accelerating down the slide. But as soon as it hits the ground, it makes a bounce as the ball continues to slide in the same direction, and then the velocity of the ball is reduced and travels ahead on a plane surface with low velocity. Putting off the fan. You must have seen that, even after putting off the electric fan, the propellers of the fan keep rotating at lesser and lesser speeds until it comes to its static rest position. This is because the capacitor of the fan has the stored potential energy which helps it to continue to move. Plucking a string on a guitar for once. On plucking the guitar string, the string will start vibrating, forming loops of waves. The vibrational energy of the string will keep on reducing with every vibration. Thus the speed of the vibrating string decreases gradually, and hence the acceleration is negative. Decreasing the BPM count on metronome. A metronome is a device used by the musician to count the beat per minute. The rate of beats per minute is set on the metronome, and the pendulum in the instrument will oscillate as per the rate set. If the rate of beats per minute decreases, then the speed of the oscillation of the pendulum on the device will decrease, and hence the acceleration will be negative as the speed of the pendulum is reduced. Sea waves reaching the shoreline. The ripples on the surface of water bodies are due to the oscillation of the molecules present on the surface of the water layer. As the sea waves approach the shoreline, the velocity of the wave reduces while making its way back to the sea. This is because the kinetic energy of the wave decreases as it strikes the shoreline. Object thrown at a height. When you throw any object at a height from the ground, the kinetic energy is converted into the potential energy of the object as the height of the object from the ground keeps on increasing. As the gravitational potential energy of the object increases, it affects the speed of the object. The speed of the object keeps on decreasing, and hence the acceleration is said to be negative. Air resistance force felt on a body in the storm. The air resistance force is very high during the stormy climate. This resistive force resists the motion of any object against this air force. This air resistance force reduces the speed of the object. Runner crossing a finish line. As the athlete reaches the finish line, he tries to control his speed and come to the rest position. This takes time as the kinetic energy that the body of an athlete acquires is high enough. Hence we see that the speed of the athlete decreases continuously, and thus this can be an example of negative acceleration. Object sliding on a planar surface. Suppose you gave a kick on a pen at its one end, then it will accelerate and displace from the initial place. You will notice that before the pen comes to its resting position, the pen displaces, slowing finally. The final velocity is less compared to the initial velocity given to the pen. Hence the acceleration is negative. Car climbing the hill. If you have noticed, while climbing the steeper hill, the speed of the object decreases the same as the car climbing up the hill. The potential energy of the car increases as the height above the surface keeps on rising. As the potential energy of the car increases, the kinetic energy and hence the velocity decreases constantly, hence the acceleration is negative. Gravitron coming to rest. Gravitron is a machine you will find in an amusement park that explains the concepts of centrifugal force clearly. The centrifugal force keeps on rising as the acceleration of the gravitron increases, and at one point the floor underneath the person is standing is removed and the centrifugal force keeps the person attached to the wall of the gravitron. This is an amazing thing to experience about gravitron. While coming to the rest, the acceleration of the gravitron decreases continuously and hence the negative acceleration is seen. Water from the waterfall. The water flowing from the height has the potential energy which is converted into kinetic energy. Once the water makes the jump on the lower plane surface, the kinetic energy of the water is reduced and the water flows ahead with low velocity. Frequently asked questions. How to calculate the negative acceleration? The acceleration is nothing but the change in the velocity of the object with time. The negative acceleration is calculated using the formula A equals v2 v1 / t2 t1. The acceleration is negative if the initial velocity v1 is greater than final velocity v2. Does the negative acceleration signify the static equilibrium position? The static resembles the position of an object at rest. The object slowing down shows the negative acceleration as the velocity keeps on decreasing. Slowing down the velocity of the object can bring the object to a static position. Please visit our website lambdageeks.com for more articles on technology, engineering, mathematics, and various other domains. Scientific calculator and many more other tools.